Hello.
Everybody should be able to hear us now. Evening, evening. Audio
G'day.
check. A 1, 2, 3 with an audio check and a 3, 4, 5.
I think we're there. Oh, I don't hear myself on the thingy. Oh wait, now I do.
On the
Just a
YouTube.
delay.
On the
Yeah,
YouTube.
it was-
Andrew, thank you
it
for
was
turning up. Moon Planet, thank you very much for turning up. Brother John, Tony's here. Be mindful. Give Richard the hugs and tell him the links in the description. I feel bad. Stole all his shit. I'm sorry.
Stole all these guests.
You took his thunder.
In saying that, I was got invited onto another stream and I was like, nope, can't do that because Richard's invited me onto one and they were like, I know he's like your bromance, and I was like, yeah, I know, he's my chummy chum. So I hope he understands. But yeah, thanks everybody for turning up. I was on a stream and it just ended and popped into Richard's for 2 minutes while I was waiting on another guest. That was just ending, so it's like a general party get together. Heidi hi ho 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 and everybody. Did everybody go quiet?
Yeah, sorry, I'm busy concentrating on something real quick. Sorry.
Yeah, you're useless. You're coming on to the chat.
Well,
you're not even
there
chatting.
ain't no party like a math big party.
Especially at this time of night.
For me, it's like retirement old folks hours, so I feel like an old man right now. So I'm gonna act as such.
Well, speaking of old men, Spooky just popped into the chat. Hi, Spooky. Yeah, we're only going to go for a wee while, maybe 20 minutes. Well, not 20 minutes. We'll probably end up going for an hour. But I need to get some sort of sleep. But I did have a doze earlier. I got 60.
Yeah, I know you. Yeah.
Yeah, I got 60 minutes of a wee doze earlier. So
I'm
actually
switching jobs and stuff, so I'm freaking. My sleep schedule's out of whack completely.
Sleep is for the weak.
What was that?
Sleep
is for the weak.
underrated. Sammy, are you ever going to get a good internet connection with a good mic and a good computer, or are you just going to run on the whole I'm retro sort of thing?
I'm actually hooked up to a record player right now, and I am actually. I can change my mic. Hang on, I'll mute for a second.
Oh yeah, you got all mute. I'm going to mute for a wee second. With a good mic and a good computer, or are you just
Fuck
gonna...
you.
What are you talking about? Would you stay away from me, Lucky Charms? For I'll need. It really is derogatory and getting fucking boring really fucking quick, like. Neil, Spooky, come on, Neil, Andrew, Brother John, everybody, Moon Planet, Be Mindful's here too. Come on, the link's in the description. Join.
Come on down.
Click that button.
Being mindful.
Loving
I
the
haven't
beard.
been in a stream with being mindful.
I'm loving the beard there, Sammy. Also, thanks very much. If anybody hasn't checked out, Sammy has a channel. It's called I keep getting the plural or not plural. Go on, Sammy. Just give it a shill because he did a lovely video of me and Richard discussing horse masturbation. It was... Yeah. See, killed the crack.
Oh, the Watchtower. I didn't know that. That's cool.
Watchtower Watchers. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thanks for that, Sammy. It's interesting. It seems to have killed the crack, and now we've lost Sammy because he doesn't have a good computer with a good mic and a good connection yet.
My connections. Alright. My brain is not connecting. My brain has lag.
Hello? Is there anybody out there in the YouTube world? Like, somebody has to talk back to me. I can't just be here pretending that people talk.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, there you go. Yeet.
I'm like, I thought you could hear me. I'm just trying to change up my image because I'm being silly.
Yeah, there's no real reason to change up your. And we lost Sammy. Oh yeah, there we go.
Oh,
We'll just leave that as the piggy.
yeah, the piggy. It's from Demon Slayer. I just finished the first season. I'm waiting for the second season to come out. I've been watching it with my wife, so it's fun. I don't look as good watching her.
That's all you're getting because my camera autofocuses
There
like
it goes. Oh God, there I am.
crazy, and
I'll hide the ugly. So there we go.
yeah, we could do that. I wonder if that autofocuses less. Does it? We could hide the ugly.
Ow.
Does that? Hold on.
I got one hell of a smile though.
How does that look? Does that look better? Oh no, I should
Yeah, there
have.
we go.
What is it? We should have Jesus loves you here. Isn't that what it is? The Jill hat. Yeah.
I have a hat of hair.
Or not Jill's hat. Fucking G-Man. G-Man with the hat. Starting the videos with his baseball cap, looking at the camera.
I actually don't watch G-Man.
No, and so you should not. Although, if you haven't seen the one where he's in a park dressed in a lion suit pretending to be an animal, it looks like he's having a nervous breakdown.
Goodness.
Yeah, you should definitely look that up. We've got 10 people watching and nobody wants to join us. What's wrong with us, Tug?
I think I smell or something.
Yeah, well, yeah. I did have a shower before I came on stream, so.
Oh, I've been working all day. I had a shower sometime today. I don't remember.
So one of the,
I
yeah.
need another one.
Back-
I need another one.
Back then.
Then I'm gonna.
Yeah, well, at least you're showering once a day. That's good.
Actually, I take multiple showers because I'm crazy like that. I'll take like 3 showers a day. I go through towels like crazy.
Oh, I can get that. Yeah. No, I'm. We'll not talk about our sweaty math pig.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, if I start to smell, because my brother used to pick on me when I was little. They're like, stinky, no, or whatever, and I'm like, no, I'm not stinky, and made me really self-conscious. So then I'd always like go and take a shower. Like even when I was in the locker room, I'd be like the one person like overspray because I was so self-conscious about it because I couldn't tell if they were just messing with me or if they were being serious because I couldn't smell anything. And there's a thing called like nose blindness. So like if you're around a certain smell, you'll go nose blind to it.
Yeah,
You won't smell it. So I was like, oh man, I don't know. So it's always made me paranoid. Sometimes like I don't like the way certain soaps smell because when I sweat, it gives off an odor, and I don't necessarily like that. So then like I have to always switch soaps because then I don't like the way I start smelling when I start sweating when I have the soap, and I get weird.
Yeah, we'll have a man-to-man talk about our sweaty problems off screen. Brother John, thank you very much for coming in.
Can you hear me?
Coming through loud and clear, my man.
All right, thanks for having me.
Say something again. Where's your accent? I'm trying to place your accent.
You're the one with the accent. What are you talking about?
Exactly, man. Under warning, just to give you heads up, Moon Planet is in the chat. I will not say their name properly, but one of their names is a moon, the other is a planet, and it is specifically named that way I'm not saying it online. So if you want to say it, they will record it and add you to a recording. That is the only disclaimer.
Moon Planet.
Yeah, underneath Andrew T's Tony Designs, hop in there, and above Tony Designs, I've been on Math Pig streams before, may go on in a minute. That person in between, it's very hard to say without saying their name.
It's Uranus. Anyway.
Sorry, Neil. Sorry.
That's okay. You were busy talking.
About not saying that particular. Have you said it online? Have they got a recording of you saying their name?
Of me?
Yes, saying their name. That particular person in the chat.
I can't see the chat.
It won't work in StreamYards. I'm using OBS. You need to use your phone.
Oh, I see.
It's a workaround for the StreamYard, so I don't have to pay for it.
Hello.
Purple!
Yeah, sorry that took a bit longer than I planned on.
That's okay. I went over to
Whacker.
Richards, and Richards was closing down, and I pretty much stole all of his viewers. So
Yeah, I see you got Neil in here. Who else do we have?
we have up in the top corner, the sickly looking pig is Tug. We've got this one guy, the guy in the top right hand corner who will dip in and dip out, and depending on who else joins the chat, may lose his position because he needs to buy new internet, is Sammy Jenkins. We've got Brother John in the bottom right hand corner, and you obviously know Neil.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I don't see the people's names underneath their avatar. Usually I do.
Yeah, I don't see him either here.
Probably part of that workaround he was talking about. Now nobody knows who we are.
Hold on.
Incognito.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Mr. Anonymous.
Well, I know I've been in the side chats with Sammy
There
Jenkins
we
a
go.
lot. I haven't actually heard the voice before.
Neil is exactly right, though. If I put the names up, it blocks out on the fact that I've done the cropping thing around people to fit inside my little pigsty frames. So if I pop the names up, it cuts people's names off, and that's why I
Right.
don't have it on.
Okay, this one guy and
Now you have him on.
who's
'cause I
this other
changed
one?
it.
Brojo?
Brother John.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I don't think we've met before.
I don't think so. Hello, Purple, right?
Yep. Purple's good.
And then
I've
Neil.
gotten so used to answering to that anytime somebody says purple in the store, I turn around.
That's awesome. I'm waiting for that. Someone to say this one guy. I'm just gonna be like, what? Huh?
So are you talking about Titan? Is that what you're asking me to
That
say
bit-
his name? Is that right?
No. I'm not asking you to say his name. He wants you to say his name, and I'm saying if they already have a recording of you, it's okay for you to say their name, but I refuse to, so that's why I refer to them as Moon Planet. And I'll happily do You're Watching Moon Planet, but I will never say You're Watching blah, 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 blah.
Titan Uranus? Is that right?
There you are, that particular phrase. Will not say it, refuse to.
I like the name. I think it's cool.
It's very cool. But
It is
just to be
cool.
annoying, I will not say it.
All right.
He has got me saying the first part, which I will not repeat until, I'm hoping that video was bad audio or deleted or edited over or copyright or something. But I have said the first bit. I will not, I hope he didn't get it in recording. But Neil, Neil, this is your first time here. Brilliant.
It is.
Thank you very much for turning up. It just happened to be turning out that we've got free time and it's worked out our times have matched. This is brilliant. Thank you very much for
This is
turning
the
up.
first
man.
time we've had Neil on.
Yes, I want
Yep.
to interview Neil, but I'm not going to interview Neil until after Neil interviews me.
That's right.
Yeah, because it would work better that way because he got in there first, so to speak.
Why would that work better?
Because we would end up, if I had the conversation on my channel first, then we could possibly ask each other back and forth the same questions. And you already got in first, so I don't want to steal your thunder, so to speak.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, he's already
Okay,
done
well-
it once tonight.
Well, you're coming on for your deconversion or something like it, and we'll just talk about whatever else gets piled on top of that, like I do in every other fucking episode that I do. So
Yeah, well, I've given the short version out back and forth on maybe one or two streams, but yeah, we could go into detail. And yeah, I generally am looking
that's what I'm
forward
looking
to
for, the details.
Yeah, generally I'm looking forward to it. I have planned to finish work, come home, sleep for 4 hours, then get up, get a shower and all the rest of it, and get ready for your stream, do the stream, and then the after party. And I have booked the next 2 days off work. One for
Just to recover.
well, it actually works out perfect because I already had the 28th booked off because that's my daughter's birthday, and then you wanted on the 26th. So booking the 27th off a day in the middle gives me a day to just lie on the sofa and feel sorry for myself. And then the next day,
Sure,
the girlfriend comes down.
I would
with
too
the
after being on my show.
yeah, and then the daughter comes down the next day, and I'm all refreshed. And yeah, it works out perfect. 3 days off work and then a Sunday, so 4 days off work. It works out perfect.
There you go.
So because of
Sounds
your
like a
after
plan.
party, I'm getting a mini holiday. So thank you, Neil.
Oh,
You know, you're still allowed to sneak me in before then because we're not going till like the 26th of February, dude.
Well,
That's over a month away.
I have to say I took some inspiration from you and did a wee Twitter thing and out back and forth and basically spent about 4 or 5 hours just tweeting and twatting and DMing everybody I knew. And yeah, I'm filled up to the end of January.
There you go. Wow. Awesome. Good. That's what you do, man. Get out there and stick
Yep.
your nose in people's business.
Yeah. I had one slot left, and I pretended like it was a lottery. And who wants to get in? And Lilith Literated jumped in and got the last slot, thanks to Peter from
Awesome.
Go For It. I've got Peter from Go For It. Gonna Go For It coming on. I've got Purple coming
That's
on.
cool.
Got Nerdy coming on. And a couple of people that you not care about, like Lucy Luxor. Although she's good crack, she's not in the.
I know
atheistic-
Lucy.
Oh, you know Lucy. Yeah, well, we're getting
Yeah.
Lucy on, and it's like, let's talk about God with a question mark. But I'm going to go
Sure.
easy on her. She'll not watch this stream. But I'm not going to ask her anything about God. But I'm keeping her going. That is completely going to be all about religion.
Well, I can tell you something right off the hop. She probably doesn't actually know anything about God because he's a fictional character.
Oh well, well, there's God the good one, who showed me his face last
that
week.
God.
God the good one showed me his face last week, and I don't like it because his face doesn't suit his voice, and I've told him never to do it again.
Oh, you've seen him without the mask.
Yes, I was one. I'm lucky, one of the privileged few.
Well, you know who you get to follow when you come on my show. You get to follow Lloyd Evans and then Jenna Belk.
And I'm not sure of their names, man. You see, you've got that many scheduled, and you have that many fingers and that many pies. I'm trying to get out and about, but you need to enlighten me.
Well, Lloyd Evans.
You're having Lloyd Evans.
Yes.
Excellent.
And then Jenna Belk is one of the co-hosts for Atheist Experience, one of the newer ones.
Oh, that
okay.
Jen.
Yeah.
She joined my Discord the other day and doesn't really know how to use it, but I'm trying to get... Is that the Italian one that takes no bullshit?
No, that's Jen Aldrich.
I like her. She takes no shit.
Yeah. She's I had Mr. Bear scheduled for 25th of January, but he had to bail because he got asked to be a best man at a wedding that was happening on that day. So Jen is actually going to slip into that spot, which is coming up. Jen Aldrich.
See, that's the thing, man. I hope to get, and big credit to yourself, Neil. There's a lot of people that I would steal their platform ideas, and what is it? Something emulation is the best form of respect, or somebody
Imitation. Highest form of flattery.
Imitation is the highest form of flattery. Yeah, there's a good 90%, good
You
80%.
butchered that.
Yeah, I totally ruined that, man. I knew it was out
Dude,
there somewhere.
The more stories that get out there, because you might end up with people that I don't.
Well, you
The
see,
more the better. So if you want to do this too, do it. I suggest totally do it.
Oh yeah, no. I just want to give respect to you because I really appreciate what you do and the platform that you give to people. And
Oh, thanks, man.
yeah, I've taken your whole idea of deconversions and just went just stories in general.
Yeah, which is great.
Yeah, and no, thank you, because for what you did and a few others and Digital Hammer Abbey and Skylar, I always try and shout out because without them I wouldn't. Shoulders and stepping on them and all that crack, and yeah.
Good channels, though.
I really appreciate what you do, Neil, and thank you very much for even considering coming on tonight. I'm like famous now. I've got Neil.
Well, I went outside for a quick smoke and puff off a joint, like I usually do around this time, because it's almost bedtime for me, because I get up at fucking stupid o'clock in the morning. So, and I saw you were on, so I'm like, yeah, fuck, I'll jump in. He's got the fucking link right there.
Yeah, it sort of just worked out because I say Purple was ending, or Diana was ending her stream, and then Richard ended his stream. So, yeah, it just worked out well.
Watching Diana's stream a little bit too earlier.
Yeah, it was good fun. I've got
Diana had to get to bed, so she's got a doctor's appointment tomorrow.
and she was wrecked. She was falling asleep. Well, not falling asleep, but she was yawning loads. It was unfair of us to keep her awake like that.
She's fallen asleep a couple of times in my live streams.
I've
Neil,
never done that.
As well, Neil, I want to apologise for my drunken state on your stream the other night. I was absolutely drunk and just dancing as a potato. And
You were fucking hilarious.
oh man, I woke up the next morning, and you know when you wake up the next morning and you feel like you've texted the ex-girlfriend, I was like, oh Jesus, what did I do?
Oh no, that's it. I'm done.
Yeah, it's out there now. Unlike
Actually, Math Pig will have to get.
I'll have to
going
wear a
on
paper
it.
bag.
I've been telling B Mills above for a couple of months that we need to do a drunk stream together.
it's all about the timing.
Probably
like.
do a stream that we can do some kind of a drinking game.
Well, there's always Quiplash there, man. I've paid for that, so you know it's there. Always as fun, and I've spent and tweaked a wee bit, so I've got a proper stream now that we can get people actually with their video cameras up on screen while we're all playing Quiplash, and Yeah,
Yep.
it's all set
yeah,
up
we,
there.
we,
But
we should do that, and whoever doesn't score or whoever gets the lowest score each round has to take a shot.
yeah, we could definitely do that. That's
I'm
100%.
going to be hammered.
The only thing I worry about though is with the Quiplash, as fun as it is and as wonderful as it is, after so many drinks, it just usually ends up being Math Pig's snatch, Math Pig's head. Oh, would you look at how stupid Math Pig is? You know, you get the one Math Pig rule. You're allowed to make fun of me once, but it just, it gets repetitive. Not just me, but the jokes do get repetitive.
Okay, well,
Oh,
I didn't do that when we played.
Yeah, well, the New Year's Eve one I did in the very bottom right hand corner in small print. I writ the last one for a while, just in the bottom small print in the bottom right hand corner of the thumbnail. But that was New Year's Eve, and yeah, if we wait to February, that would be a month. 30 days is long enough, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, February's 29 days this month.
I know. If
Right,
my wee
that's a
girl,
year.
Yep.
if my wee girl was 4 hours later, she would have been born in the 29th. What wouldn't? There was no 29th that year, but it would have fucked her birthday up if she was born at 20 to 9. If she was 4 hours later.
Should have been on the 29th.
Well, no, she would have been on the 1st. But this year, she would have been the 29th, to be exact, in all with the leap year, because there was no
Gotcha.
29th her particular year.
She gets 2 days to celebrate.
Exactly.
When I was growing up, the kid that lived across the street from me was born on February 29th, so he only had a birthday every 4th year.
Yeah, I knew one of those too. No, come on.
My
The guy I knew
stepson
had one
was-
every year.
Yeah, well, his parents did it on the 28th each year, but, we used to
wouldn't it
tease him about
depend,
that.
like, what time of day on the 29th you were born? You could kind of determine, if you're going to celebrate on the 28th or the 1st.
That's what they did.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
was born really early, so they did it on the 28th.
And if he'd have born later, they'd have done it on the 1st.
Yeah,
Yeah.
My
exactly.
stepson was an hour early of being born on the 6th of the 6th, those 6th. It was 11 p.m. on the 5th.
Yeah.
It would have been a great birthday, I reckon.
Well, it depends what
I
way
was
he would
born
have
so
went.
close to midnight that the nurse and the doctor argued about which day it was.
Yeah, spent his whole life people calling him the Antichrist.
So, Brojo, we've never really talked before. You've never been well, you've been in the streams, I think, before, but I've never had you on a hangout. Now, do you mind me asking?
I just subscribed to your channel because so I saw some of the videos you're having, seem of interest, things along the lines I like to talk about.
Yeah,
cool.
well, we try to keep it as as layman terms as possible and as fun as possible, and
You're going to
probably
say lame as possible.
layman as layman as possible is what I meant.
No, I know.
Probably if we did an hour-long stream, only 15% is actually worth listening to and learning, but it's a lot of fun, and I'm enjoying it.
Sounds like my hangouts as well.
Yeah. I was going to say the lame just happens naturally.
Yeah, there's elements of it in there.
Yeah.
Once in a while,
okay,
we bring up
okay.
something exciting.
But you get what I mean. You get what I mean. Huh? And I've got my first
Well, Matt,
debate this. Sorry, Braun. Go on ahead.
I'm sorry. First, are you from Northern Ireland?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You said okay. You said oh shit. Sorry.
No. No, the only reason because I was trying to catch your accent because I'm so bad with accents. And I'm like, his accent sounds like someone else on YouTube, and I had to go. Okay, let me go see where this guy's from. He says Northern Ireland. No, let me confirm it with you. So that just confirms it.
Yeah, originally from about maybe 10, 15 miles from the border. My biggest city would have been Newry. The biggest city then would have been Dundalk, and sort of in and around that area. South Armagh, if you look that up, if you type South Armagh, Northern Ireland, and click news, you'll have a fun time. That's proper bandit country is what we call here. That's in and around where I grew up.
Okay.
but on the complete other side, because Bandit Country was very Catholic and I'm actually a Protestant in that time. But my mother encouraged me to mix and be, even the church she sent me to was the Salvation Army, which was mixed. So I ended up with Catholic friends and learned to drive outrunning policemen with certain things in the boot in unlabeled cars. So yeah, it was fun times. We'll save that for Neil's stream.
Yeah, I'd like to hear that story about outrunning the police.
So you recently deconverted from Protestant?
Oh no, man! I'm 36. I left the religion when I was 11.
Get smart early.
That's why I'm not very on the game and on the ball with some of these things. Because I haven't read the Bible and done all that actual. I have to really be up my. The internet I find is an awful lot more stringent and up your ass and anal about how you have to have this right and that right and fallacy. And I've been having these conversations in real life for years and trying to get on my game with. Must keep in line with the paperwork. It feels like work sometimes.
Yeah, almost like red tape.
Yep.
Just to have a conversation.
Yep.
The internet saved me.
Yeah?
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Go on ahead.
It's funny
I
how
was in
that
a
works.
religious bubble for 30 plus years. Yeah.
Wow, dude.
Where are you from originally? Is it? Do you want to go Brojo, Brother John, or what? Brojo, yeah.
Yeah.
Where are you originally from, man? I still haven't placed your accent, and I maybe missed it if you did say.
New York.
New York.
New York City. Yeah.
You're on the other side of me. Because I'm in Vancouver, British Columbia, so I'm on the west coast. Sorry, Brian, I didn't mean to walk all over you.
That's okay.
What denomination? Just so we know, sort of. Well, not that I fucking hate pigeonholing people. Just so we have a general idea.
Oh, okay. I was, I guess, indoctrinated in Catholicism, Roman Catholicism.
Perfect. My girlfriend's that. My daughter's that too.
I went to Catholic school for 8 years. Did the whole altar boy thing. No, I did not get molested.
It's almost like you have to say that nowadays.
I
Right?
know. It's whenever he said the whole, I did the altar boy thing. Does that include that?
But like Neil said, yeah, it's Neil, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just like Neil said, it's like you got to put that in. So
Dude,
then
you gotta come on my show, Brojo.
Okay, sure.
Are you on Twitter?
No, I don't do Twitter. No.
You're on Facebook.
I do Facebook, but that's my private. I try to keep the world separate here.
Do you Discord, Brojo?
Discord, yeah. I have a server there.
Yeah, I've links for my Discord is in the description, and Neil's also there. And the fact that you are in the mutual server, you'll be able to DM each other then.
There you go.
There's just something about these hangouts I just prefer, even though it's just could be avatars on the videos. It's just something different about it than Discord, just the voice. I don't know.
It would give you the opportunity to DM each other and organize a date just in text form. It's very quick. You could also email each other. I'm sure.
Scheduling purposes.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Unless you want to. I can
have
offer
a camera,
you dates
but
right
if
now.
anybody if anybody has been on camera with me, it auto focuses like mad.
I never seen your face. There he is.
It's one of the worst cameras out there, but it was see what I mean? Twitching, lights. It's really bad.
It's a beautiful thing.
It's fucking annoying as hell. That's the first next thing on my list. I spent most of my money on the computer. At least I haven't crashed the stream and everything looks well and I can do what I want to. We'll worry about the camera later. And saying that, shout out to Sammy Jenkins in the top corner here. Sammy is my only Patreon. And the money is going towards a camera.
What's wrong with me?
I have no idea, but he's giving £3 and $3.14p to me, which is pie. Pie, yeah. And
that's fucking genius. I love that.
That's good.
It is.
Yeah, well, Neil sent me a
very
camera,
clever man.
so I will try to use that Math Pig when you have me on for your interview.
Yeah.
Well, I sent him a camera and he doesn't even use it.
Well, you know, where I am
I'm giving you
now,
the gear.
it's a little dangerous for me to be too out. And I don't care
Gotcha.
what people think of me, but I'm afraid that it could affect my siblings in this small town.
Sure. Understood.
Yeah, yeah. Of course, if you need to hide your face, no one's going to force you to put your face on. As I say,
Yeah.
I'm just afraid of blinding people because of the
Yeah.
flashing, or
Well-
maybe causing an epileptic fit with the autofocus.
You know, I'm still trying to get back to Minnesota, and once I can get out of this little town, it won't make a difference.
Well, we look forward to that, Purple, and anything we can all do
Although-
to help. You know that we're here for you.
Honestly, you know, I'll use the camera occasionally, but I won't be doing it with every live stream. Just
Yeah.
because I'm a little uncomfortable with it. And
Well, that's it. I'm getting a wee bit more comfortable. It used to be one wee flash every couple of streams, and now it's a flash every other stream. You know, you get a wee bit more comfortable. You get a wee bit better, and yeah, you buy toothpaste to whiten your teeth, and you stop worrying about them and go fuck it. Or is that just me? No, that's just me.
yeah.
Yeah, you get over it.
I
You
do understand the family thing, though. That's part of the reason I don't go on camera a great deal. Is when I eventually get around to putting some stuff onto my channel, it's going to be sort of activism. I like the idea of the testimonial sort of thing, from the point of view of someone coming out of religion, as opposed to the testimonials you get, in. But I was raised as a Jehovah's Witness, so very sort of focused in that area. And
Yeah.
Those are some
if
of
you
the
know
harder
anything about,
stories that I've heard.
yeah, and it's sort of when you still have family in, it can be very hard
Problematic.
for them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
How long were you Jehovah's Witness?
I was till about 15, 16. I was questioning from basically when I could think, 10, 11, when I sort of started to become self-aware. There were so many things that didn't make sense. And by sort of 14, 15, I'd had enough and had to leave home and things like that. And I'm actually quite lucky because I was never baptized. I got to just leave. And there was no detriment to my family or anything like that. And I still get to be around them and basically have a normal family life, where there's so many out there who don't, just because they were baptized. It's ridiculous.
I find a common theme, probably maybe with people who were in religion much longer and then come out, but I find a common theme that you go through this anger stage, this resentfulness,
Yeah.
and depending on the person, and I guess how aware you are, some stay in it longer than others. Or in my case, like there'll be an initial very aggressive lash out against religion and religious folks, and but I do find that to be a common theme.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
anti-theism seems to be
Absolutely.
the first thing you go for afterwards. Like, you're angry. Like, why would you not be? You've just spent most of your life, and regardless of what people
Believing a
around
lie.
you believe, but as Neil just said, you've been told a lie. You've been led down the wrong path. You've just
But you see-
realized your brain and the world is 10 times bigger than you actually thought it was, and you're fucking pissed.
You gotta
And
think the people
you
that raised
take
you in
it-
it were raised that way too. So it's a long chain of it.
Exactly. It was exactly like that for me. And you
Yeah.
end up taking it to the extreme. Like I was painting my face and listening to Cradle of Filth.
Yep.
And,
Still on with 2 leather coats.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
Full
I,
blown goth.
To
Yeah.
try and purge myself, I guess.
that's why a
what
lot of
almost-
people in their teens or early 20s go into that goth phase.
Yeah, I went into it and I was in my 30s.
Yeah.
Yeah, Neil's dressed all in black right now.
Part of me, I had a brief period coming out of Catholicism, and Yeah, in high school, I was, it was listening to Black Sabbath and
Brilliant.
getting
My
into
favorite.
Brilliant.
metal,
Yeah.
and the
Well,
cult and
I kind of came up in stages. I went from being Catholic to being Methodist to being pagan.
Well,
Wow.
Jewish for me.
Yeah, well, and that was part of it for me. Was I grew up Catholic in a Jewish community, so
They're
it's like,
sort of similar, anyways.
yeah, 4 out of 5 people I discussed the Bible with had read it in Hebrew and were pointing out to me all the translation errors.
Well, that would fucking get annoying.
Beautiful.
so you're pagan now.
No, I'm atheist now.
So is everybody here an atheist? Well, I know this
I'm
one guy.
agnostic.
I mean,
Yeah,
agnostic.
pretty much when my fiance died, that was kind of the final nail in it. That I just realized how hollow it sounded when people were trying to console me.
It depends on what definition you're using. I use agnostic myself, but I'm happy to go with atheist.
Well, I would say atheistic towards the Christian God of the Bible, but agnostic in general. And that's my wee quick phrase to try and sum it up. I hate pigeonholing people, but if you're going to put a wee quick colloquial version of a label on me, it would be atheistic
Yeah.
towards the Christian God of the Bible, but agnostic in general.
I hear
Yeah,
you.
that's pretty much where I am. That I'll allow that there could have been a creator God that got things started, but if he did, he hasn't paid any attention to what's evolved on this planet since then.
I won't even
More
give him that.
bigots.
I won't give him. There's been how many hundreds of thousands of fucking gods proposed? It's all
Well,
made up.
I'm just saying, since we don't know how the universe started, I'll allow that. That's one of the possibilities.
Well,
You
we've
see,
got
I
some pretty
find
good
that it's
ideas.
very hard, right, to take the atheist stance, because when you take the atheist stance, it feels like, and I'm not going to be all fucking Steve McRae and all the rest of that, but I do like Steve, and as I've said before, like, I'd love to have Steve or Cheshire or anybody on. I've had Nick on, and Nick, we really do need to sort of do another interview, a full one. He filled in when David Worley came out that week of all that shit that went down. But anyway, I feel it hard to say the full atheist stance.
Yeah.
Because
well,
it
I
is
may
a
actually be
definition that you know
agnostic.
for
I'm
sure.
really not sure.
Yeah. Okay. Someone's got an echo going
That's
on.
Sammy. Him and his fucking stupid connection. Hold on, I mute that man.
Yes,
There we go.
Sammy, right?
I love
Might be
Sammy,
Sammy.
but we need to do a GoFundMe for Sammy. We need to do a GoFundMe for
Are you
Sammy.
sure it was me?
Yes,
I'm-
you were flashing.
I thought
Well,
it was me,
Onion
but I
said
muted
in side
myself.
chat
and-
that it's Sammy.
Yeah. Anyway, right, back to the main conversation. Purple, you were saying.
I was just saying that I might be agnostic. I'm really not sure.
You are.
I think that's
I have this thing, and I guess I mean, I'm not philosophical, but I'm definitely layman when it comes to all these philosophical terms and stuff. But in my mind, agnostic is just simply, I mean, I just don't have enough knowledge.
yeah.
And so, my thing is that everyone should call themselves agnostic, should be the prefix, and then everyone seems to have their kind of leaning,
Yeah.
So,
Like, I've explained about fucking things that I've experienced where some people, if they were full-blown Christian and I had that conversation with them, they would say it's supernatural. And I just say it's shit I don't understand yet. And it's just a different leaning. Some people, I can't remember who I was talking to, and I feel awful now because they're going to totally call me out, but I've had far too much weed tonight. Smoked like a whole fucking gram and a half.
Well,
And we had something very similar of an upbringing and a story, and I'm, agnostic with a leaning towards atheist, and they're agnostic with a leaning towards... It was Holy Spackle! There you go. Holy Spackle.
yeah.
And she had a leaning towards, and that's why she's Holy Spackle and not Atheist Spackle. And I sort of had something similar, but I lean the other way. And it's interesting, as you say, Brojo. Yeah, everybody's agnostic, but with their leanings.
But though
I'm
you will
actually...
have... I'm sorry, go ahead, Purple.
I like going with apatheist. I really don't care if God exists, but if he's as described in the Bible, even if I give you that he exists, you've got a long way to go to convince me he's anything worth worshipping.
See, that's the thing it even boils down to, regardless of whether he exists or not. Is he even worth being with a god. If someone gives you the
He's a
god
fucking
status,
dickhole.
you're
It's
supposed
not
to
Yeah,
what
be
well, if
he
he's
worshipped.
as described in the Bible, he's a genocidal, egotistical maniac.
Yeah,
Put
yeah.
way more labels on him.
You see, it all depends on your definition of God. And if you say God, do you mean by definition that he must be worshipped? Is he a deity that is?
Yeah.
So that's the thing. It's okay to have a deistic God, someone that started the whole thing, and you don't have to worship him. He's just it could be a fucking purple dinosaur that farted. That purple dinosaur I keep in my garage, by the way, purple rhymes with orange. I thought it was an appropriate thing to post in your Twitter hangout for the very first thing.
Yep.
It was a dancing purple hippo in a sumo outfit. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, no, it's I've heard it as a pink dragon or a pink unicorn.
Yeah,
for a
I keep
couple
him in my
people.
garage. Yeah, no, but that's the thing. Yes, it does. I'm rambling.
Okay.
I'm rambling. Somebody
Yeah,
moderate
it's
me.
okay.
That's right. You're good at it.
Yeah,
Well,
I just
I'm agnostic at this point. I mean, I've gone through. It was only about 10 years ago. I learned what a deist was, and deism. Reading the works of Thomas Paine and stuff like that. That was kind of instrumental in my deconversion from Christianity. One of the tools in the toolbox there. But I discovered deism. I discovered Christian deism. Believe it or not, there are Christian
Sure.
deism. And I'm like, that lasted all of a month because that was just a total oxymoron to me. And and so I then started another channel. I started my own kind of deism. I called it modern deism, only to find out there were other kind of religions like that. So the only reason I lean towards the theist side more, I would call myself an agnostic pantheist now. The only reason I would lean towards that, and I would admittedly say, is my certain experiences I had. And experiences, even when I was a Christian, that I believe I was just having it through the Christian lens at the time. But there seems to be, I don't know, something happening. And I'm definitely atheistic towards these the Abrahamic gods. Strongly atheistic towards those and a lot of other god claims. I've heard someone say that they're an atheist of the names of God, which I thought was interesting.
An atheist of the names of God.
Yeah, atheist to the name of gods, meaning almost like a Taoist in a way, I guess. You don't put a label on it. You can't put a label on it.
Well, that's a nice way of thinking about it.
Like the Taoists would say, once you attach a label to what you're trying, you already taken away from the meaning or the essence of it, because you're already putting it in a box.
What are you talking about? A word is used to describe something, so you get a mental picture in your head, and that's the best way to communicate.
Right. So this is something that the Taoists would say to try to explain God or the source of everything would go beyond words. You couldn't define it. To define it would also.
What do you mean by beyond? What does that mean beyond words? Like telepathy?
No,
like art forms, media like that.
I was gonna say something.
I
along
guess
those
here,
lines.
I guess that sensation with art that everyone experiences.
No, you
That,
can have an experience.
qualia?
Picture paints 1,000 words, kind of thing. Like visual stimulation, that kind of thing for communication.
Again, it's just I guess the way they were trying to express what this source would be beyond the word, beyond a label.
Okay, I need to know more what they mean.
well see what
Okay. Like when you're having this God conversation around here on YouTube and everything, once you say the word God, it's already pretty much defined as the Abrahamic God because of the cultures.
Here it is.
yeah.
Right?
Here it is.
Yeah, here it is.
Here we would picture that God, but if you said it
Yeah,
somewhere
for
like
Western
India, they'd
civilization.
picture somebody else.
Right, and so if I talk about God in India, that totally be different.
No, totally. Yeah.
Yeah, and they probably wouldn't even crucify you if you said you were God.
Well, there are places on the planet that probably wouldn't.
Well, when
Wouldn't
you
that
say
be like
about
the ultimate goal, though? If you think about it, if
What,
it's
to be
like
God?
no, if God were to come back, wouldn't it like especially in Revelations, like it says he's gonna freaking die as the second witness? So that would be the goal of Christ, would be to die again. So then that would bring on the end of the world.
The whole thing's a death cult, anyways. Blood
Well, when-
sacrifice, death cult.
when
Yeah,
you
everything's
say
a blood
that
god.
about the names of God, one of the things I identified with as a pagan was Arthur C. Clarke's story, The 9 Billion Names of God, which, to spoil the ending, that
Oh,
basically the idea that the purpose of the universe was to discover all the names of God. And when we discovered all of his different names, the universe had served its purpose and would shut down.
was he pop into existence?
Interesting.
Well,
You did
basically,
it.
at the end of the story, he sees the stars in the sky one by one blinking out, that everything is shutting down. So it's just a question of a few minutes before our sun shuts down.
So once the divine goes through every expression of possible, that's it. It's done.
Yeah, that more sounds like less the seven thunders that in Revelations, to be honest.
Well, as a pagan,
Does-
I liked that idea because, it allowed for the possibility that even though everyone was calling the gods by different names, we were all still referring to the same entity.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the whole thing that I kind of preach, to be honest.
Oh my
But not
God.
in the same thing.
So
not
many
in
of
the
them
same
are
way.
not the same at all. Like they're very, very different gods.
Yeah, well,
So
like
the
I
likelihood
said,
of that, I think,
it's something I kind of believed for a while, but yeah, it
Well-
didn't work out when you tried to put it all together.
I was gonna say let me rephrase that because that's.
Can I
not
just
a-
interrupt? I'm sorry, I'm very interrupting.
go ahead.
here. Sorry, yeah, it's all my channel. Sokka account has turned up, and I just want to shout out on stream an awful lot of respect for Sokka account. And as Richard would say, man, I love your brain. You have an awful good brain. I love the way you come at things. An awful lot of respect for what you do, and I appreciate you turning up. And I haven't listened to a goddamn thing that the actual live chat has said for the last 15 minutes because I've been in the actual live chat chatting. So I apologise for that to the people on the panel, but I just wanted to say thank you and a lot of respect for Sokka turning up.
Yep.
Maya asked, "I'm awake. I'm awake."
Oh, and
For a
Maya
little bit
followed
longer.
me over here, huh?
Yeah, Maya's awesome. I messaged you. I think. Well, I can't remember if it was Facebook or Twitter, Maya, but I'm trying to get you to come on the show.
Yeah, man's
That'd be
good fun.
good. I'd like to know more about her. I've seen her in the chat several times, but I really don't know much about her or what she believes in.
We had Maya for Quiplash. It was fun.
So, Brojo,
Yes, sir.
how would you like to
Yeah.
follow?
He's gonna put my feet to my fire now. Here he goes.
How would you like to follow Shelley Segal?
Shelley Segal. Who's Shelley Segal?
She wrote the opening theme for the Atheist Experience show.
Oh, I've seen that video too.
She actually does as well once a week. She's writing the music once a week live. I don't know if you follow, but yeah, I got a line in last week. Not this last song, but the song before that. I got one line in the song. So proud of myself. And if it works
That's
well,
awesome,
she'll
yeah.
include you, man. She literally writes a song live. You get involved. It's great fun.
Yeah, you're all writing the song together. She writes it with other people that are musicians in the audience watching.
Oh, really? That sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's really
Yeah, and you get the input from everybody. It's like, I walked outside one day and crigged me toe, and then everybody walked outside and crigged their toe, and you get everybody's point of view, and it gives the song lyrics.
I'm sorry,
It's obviously
did you
more
say
in depth
crigged
than
your
crigging.
toe?
Pardon?
Did you say Craig to your toe?
Now I'm gonna have to think about it. It's gonna come out wrong. But crigging your toe, like knocking your toe off the seat when you're not, you walk into the living room, you're not wearing slippers, and you hit your foot.
Yeah, okay, I take that to be the same as stubbed your toe. It's just
Stubbed your
that-
toe, crigging your toe,
Yeah.
crigging your toe.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that expression before.
yeah,
Doesn't matter what you call it. It sucks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, just to point out, the songs are obviously more in
good.
depth than this. I'm just trying to find an analogy, a metaphor to put. But it gives, instead of getting just her point of view, you get 50 people's point of view. Not that there's 50 watching, but it's a pool of views.
Yeah.
It makes a better song.
Yeah, so writing the song is an audience participation experience.
Exactly. I should have just been
Even
quiet and let you
suggesting
say that
keys
at the
and
start.
notes. It's cool. It's very cool.
Yeah, it sounds fun.
Tune in. She usually does it
I'm
Sundays. Sorry, bro.
I'm gonna drop out. It's been an absolute blast talking to you all.
Sammy, thank
Awesome
you.
to
Me
meet
too.
you, Neil.
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah, enjoy.
And
Good to
hey,
talk to you, Purple. Finally,
Sammy,
we've
Yep.
chatted in streams, in chats, but I've never spoke to you before. So
Yeah, well, and you're welcome to my channel anytime.
thank you.
And tomorrow we're
Yeah,
having
so
a
what were you
hump
gonna
day
say
hangout.
now?
If you want to drop by, say hello, Sammy.
Yeah, definitely. I shall.
Well, I'll be streaming tomorrow at noon Central Time.
No
Sammy, if
worries.
you ever want to share your story, give me a message.
Yeah, too easy. I shall. Well, thanks again, everyone.
Sammy, thank you very
Have a
much
good
for
night.
turning up, man. Did you notice I didn't kick you out once tonight for somebody more famous than you? You did well with your connection.
Yeah, well,
Yes, yes.
definitely take Neil up on it.
Yeah, no, I shall.
It was a
I think it's an interesting story to tell because although I left when I was young, it's only been the last couple of years that I realised the indoctrination that I
The
was
effects
still
it's had on
affected by. Yeah.
yeah. Neil had me on his show a few months back, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
I
we had a
think
good
it would
time.
be.
Hang on here.
Awesome.
Sammy, thank you very much. I'll talk to you in the morning, man.
Hang on, Sammy.
Yeah,
are you on
you're right. I
Twitter?
can. Hang on.
Are you Twitter? Or?
Yes. I'm also if you're on MathPig's Discord,
You're there too.
I'm there all the time. Yeah.
Everybody's there, man. It's where all the fun is. You're missing out. You're missing out.
I'll send you a message, man.
Awesome. I'll find you there.
Okay.
Cool.
Thanks, Sammy.
Okay,
See you
bye,
later,
everyone.
Bye bye.
See you guys.
Yeah, Sammy.
No, Brojo, you want a link to my channel?
Oh my goodness, is that actually who I think it is, Sokka?
Yeah, there's I don't have any of my usual icons on my phone when I log in, but for some reason I keep this picture of Von Helton because it's my favorite one, so I just threw it up.
Converse, we have Converse in the background, so we, just Converse when a spot opens up, we'll slot you in. But yeah, Sokka, I wanted to give you preference because, man, first time here, and I always have an awful lot of respect for you. You do what you do well, and you do it to the point where people can understand. So a lot of respect for you as well.
Hey, yo, Math Pig, I'll bow out for Converse.
Tog, appreciate it. I'll we definitely have to get the killing of the piggies going again.
Yeah, I gotta go to sleep anyway. So
Talk
as
to you
much as
later.
I'd love to stay on.
Sorry about that. It was-
Talk to you later, Tog.
See you, Math Pig. See you, everyone else. Bye.
Night.
That's weird. What's going on with Sokka's? Okay.
There you go.
Sorry about that. Can you
I'm
guys
in the
hear me?
middle. Yeah,
Welcome
alright,
back, Sokka.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
Thank you, Converse, for joining.
Yoshi Sokka.
Yeah, don't worry about me. I'm no big deal.
Nick,
you're
Converse
pro-
is amazing as well, by the way.
No. Definitely put Sokka ahead of me. That's for sure.
Oh
I'm
no, we'll
nobody.
Tog bowed out, man. Tog bowed out, and we're not going to do a hierarchy of who's cooler than the rest of us. But I definitely do appreciate your. No, you're making it up. No. Converse, I do appreciate your approach as well, man. I think that you're trying to do what I'm trying to do, but from the other side of the fence. And when we both get famous, we'll definitely have to meet in the middle. And
Yeah, well, listen, I appreciate all the support and feedback I've been getting, and I just feel like I've got people like the Raging Atheist saying you're one of my favorite Christians. You're one of the ones that I can stomach, and you've got all these other people that are pretty well known on the atheist side saying like, I really appreciate your approach and things like that. And then when Math Pig says
I've
it,
heard good things about you, man.
I ain't
I really appreciate that. My approach is that psychology shows when people are confronted by beliefs that contradict their beliefs, they tend to cling tighter to their beliefs. And so,
Doubling down, sure, it happens.
yeah. So what I typically do is I like to approach people in a way that is digestible, and I think that's the best way to do it.
Kind of like your version of a street epistemology kind of thing.
Yeah, I almost feel like street epistemology evolved out of the Seitan Bruggencake kind of thing, but without all the antics.
We're actually
And-
all brains. We're actually all ideas in GeoSam's mind. I don't know if anybody knows GeoSam, but we actually all are existing inside his mind. It's all his thoughts.
Right, but I appreciate it because I think you should ask people how do you know?
Yeah.
Were
Like
you
when
there?
somebody makes a claim, you should definitely ask. Well, like the other night when I was on Raging Atheist, somebody said something like, "Well, outside of time, you can't do this," and I go, "How could you possibly know that?" I mean, it's just a hard claim to back up.
I think I used a different terminology, but generally looking for the same thing. I think what convinced you
Yep.
that that's the truth is a much better approach than how do you know? Because people might take like almost like they're, what do you mean? How do I know? What? It's how are you convinced that that's real or true? Or
Well, you see,
whatever?
that's the thing, Neil. That's why I like to
Yeah.
take what you've got and then sort of step upon you with the deconversion story. It's because
You don't
where are
step
you?
on me.
Oh, it's standing on your shoulders, but you know what I mean, man. It's what convinced you. Personal testimony is fucking powerful. I have seen and experienced some mad shit, as I said, that people could
Me too.
experience as supernatural, and I know I know that if I told you this story, it ain't gonna convince you. You'll just go, "That's weird," and I'm open to the opportunity and the experience that it's something we don't understand yet, but. Personal testimony is powerful, and that's why I don't like putting people in boxes. I'd rather talk to the person and ask them a question rather than tell them what the literature says about their position.
When you say put them in boxes, are you meaning like you're sort of judging them? You have this idea of who they are before you know?
Well, as I've said here before, if you put people in pigeonholes, it makes pigeons easier to shoot.
Yeah, but you might
There's
get
just,
shit on too.
Yeah, well, you can
it's
say
one-
atheist, you can say agnostic, you can say deist, you can say theist, and it's very, very simple to put them in terms and they define certain things, but most people are a Venn diagram. Nobody's a circle. Most people are Venn diagrams.
I would agree. Sure. Yeah.
Well, and even phrasing the questions, it can be kind of difficult because you don't want to make people defensive when you're just trying to ask questions. And when it gets into what people personally believe, that's such a sensitive area.
Well, you see, that's sort of why I'm doing the interviews at the start, where we all get to know each other, and then we all become friends. We all know the context of the words that we're using, and then when Neil annoys me and I call him a fucking asshole, he'll still come back next week.
No, then I've probably been an asshole.
Yeah, if we could just give Sokka a chance. Sokka's been trying to talk here, so give Sokka a
Yeah, I
chance.
was going to say that.
Yeah, it's one of those interesting things because this came up actually the other day when Converse and I were talking with Raging. Like when you get to the like some of the philosophical arguments in philosophy and theology, that it's interesting that I view them as thought experiments. When someone comes out with an argument that has to appeal to. Sorry,
Hey,
Mike,
I'm
it's
here.
bedtime
What?
around here.
That's
But when people start appealing,
Are you gonna smack that kid or what?
Come on, man.
That's not how you do it, man.
These become interesting thought experiments where you start questioning this, like these assertions, especially really strong assertions that such a being would be necessary for something. Those are really interesting to get into those conversations. But the thing is that these are never the reasons why I find people come to their faith. Like if someone goes out there and then someone tries to present some type of tag argument or some type of moral argument or any type of argument that they have that they feel supports the theological position that they have. Like, well, it was fascinating to talk about these things. These are never the reasons why people were convinced. And so, like, a lot of the time when we have these discussions and it gets like tied down to the minutia of these arguments, like, yeah, it's fun, but does it really actually tell you much about the other person's position or why it is that they believe this, or you really get to that personal level to have a decent discourse? Laying out those arguments only leads to a debate, never to a discussion.
Thank you. That's the whole point I've tried to say so many times. Sorry to just jump in, Converse. I'll say it 2 seconds and I'll give it to you. I hate debate. I'd rather discussion, because debate means that it's my tribe v your tribe. Discussion means people want to have a conversation. Go on ahead, Converse.
I like the SC approach.
Yeah, that's why my name's Converse Contender, because I think people should contend in conversation for their position, right? And so, but I just want to give like the inverse of what Sokka said. Like, I agree that people don't necessarily come to their beliefs through these arguments, but I would just say the other side as well. Like, for example, I tell Christians sometimes, like, think about it. Like, you're out there giving these like philosophical arguments to some guy who's never studied philosophy, and you're trying to convince him. And the whole time, all he's thinking is, yeah, my brother, Mr. Perfect, who's got the best job and stuff, and I can't find a job, and like he's married and got all, you're telling me that he's right? Like, I hate my brother, and that he's this perfect Christian guy. I can't stand him, and like you're telling me he's right. Like, I'm saying not all, of course, but I'm just saying, like, we need to understand that on both sides there are these factors that make people either believe or disbelieve. Like, for example, the guy, forget one of the guys that was just in the chat said, like, well, the final straw was like when my I guess his wife or whatever passed and stuff.
Yes, that was purple.
So like
that was
yeah,
purple.
and so on both. Yeah, I was gonna say like that was obviously like an intuition that he got from that experience, and then their experiences on the other side as well.
My first straw was, I'll not ruin the whole Neil story, but my first straw was when my mother and father broke up. And as I explained before, it's not that I was looking for a sign or something to jump out at me or somebody to make my parents get over what that was happening. I just wanted a fucking hug and someone to tell me that it was okay, and I didn't even get that warm fuzzy feeling. That was my first straw. But
and you said your intuition, and I often ask people that use or think they are using intuition. How often has your intuition misfired?
Well, actually, I was saying that the person I was speaking about, Purple or whatever, I said that they were using their intuition about what has happened to come to the conclusion they did about God. But yeah, I mean,
there's a longer story to that, but.
Yeah, but if you ask anybody, Converse, if you ask anybody who has deconverted, there's a lot of them that have read the Bible and but there's a lot of them that have ended with the agnostic stance that have had something happen, and that's why they looked to start with. And the same goes in reverse. When you find people in a lot of religions, it's like, hi, how are you? Oh, I lost my son. Hi, how are you? Oh, I'm recovering from heroin. Oh, hi, how are you? I'm a recovering alcoholic. There's a lot of people on that side as well that I find here. It's not as much fundamental. I mentioned this with the Nathan Orman stream, but that's the why when you find fundamentalists and people who are very involved in religion over here, you usually find, and I don't mean it to be derogatory, but they have a backstory. There's a reason that they needed a community. There's a reason that, they were out on their own and they had this one person, or they had this one thing, or they had this thing, and then it was gone and they needed another community. Studies usually show that when people are happiest, it's when they're in communities. It's when they're interacting with other people in real life and having something to share with other people. And the church is a very easy go-to for that, because it's ingrained in a lot of people from the get-go.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I guess I would just say I'm one Christian that hardly ever goes to church. I don't know. I guess I come at it from a unique perspective. Like, Math Pig knows my story. Like, I grew up pretty secular. My grandmother, who I really looked up to, she had this like Christian persuasion for me, right? But I grew up playing in punk bands and skateboarding and doing all these that was my life, was
Because we'll
skateboarding and
totally
playing
get along.
guitar.
Yeah.
So I'm listening to Minor Threat and Black Flag
Nice.
and all these groups, and I'm
Nice.
not, the last thing I'm thinking about is religion. I didn't even like school. I barely got through high school, and so
Yeah.
it wasn't until later when I started considering other ideas, and I looked at, like, for example, how I got there was I just looked at the person of Christ and I go, what? Wait a second. Christians believe that he's God? Are you serious? And then I started looking in. I'm like, wait a second. He's going in kicking over the money changing tables in the temple, and he's saying there's no difference between Jews and Greeks, like attacking racism. And he's like, there's no difference between male or female. There's no difference between slave and free, and like all these
Um,
claims that he's making.
Yeah.
He actually tells the slaves to obey their masters like they would him.
Well, let me Well, hang on a second. That's a claim that I often hear, right?
Well, let's not do claims
I
and
can
let's
pull
not
the
do
verse.
Bible studies, but you get what Converse is trying to say. That's the point.
I get what he's trying to say.
Yeah.
That's,
Well,
I
and that's
always
like-
dug that rebel side of him too. So
Yeah, we'll have
I'm
that.
not much interested in the debates because I realized that, religion is a lot more about emotional things than
Yep.
about facts.
I'm more
And
interested in the
that's-
personal
I appreciate being able to have discussions with people who have different beliefs, in a way that nobody's putting up walls and everybody can feel free to express themselves.
Yeah, well, what's funny is
so-
even quite recently, just really quickly, I thought Purple was an atheist. And then for a wee while there, for the last 2 weeks, I thought Purple was a pagan. And then he mentioned tonight again, he's like, no, I'm an atheist. And I'm like, see, this is
he's
the
an alien.
He's a robotic triceratops. But
Actually, if you read the about part of my YouTube page, it says atheist with pagan remnants.
well, there you go.
Well, if I could
Two
just,
remnants.
if I could just make one correction, though, I would just say that Paul said that, what you were quoting, Neil, Paul, not Christ. But I would just point out that Paul also wrote a letter to one of the letters of the Bible is Onesimus. He wrote, it's called Philemon, but he basically wrote to Philemon and said, hey, look, I found your runaway slave, but take him back no longer as a slave, right? So, like, I guess, and then also, if we're reading about, like, what Christ said about slaves, right? Matthew chapter 25, when he's talking about slaves, he says that one got paid 1 talent of gold, one got paid this much gold, and they got paid according to their skill level. I don't think that's the same type of slavery as some people think. Like, that sounds like people working and getting paid according to their skill level. Like, it may be servitude, like a butler or something, but I think we need to contextualize all this stuff, because if I told you that, like, some
Just to say,
Converse,
as an
can I jump
example,
in?
being used as an example, that's fine, but I don't want to do Bible study and all that sort of crack.
Sure.
So this is the this is one of the problems that I have with, and I agree, because I was about to jump in and suggest a Bible study for a second there, and like the way that I interpret that story, right, or the way that I've heard that story before, just has to do with it's a parable. It's a parable being told by Jesus, so it doesn't actually refer to actual slaves or anything like that. And it was never that they were really getting paid for this. It was that their owner, their master, gave them money to kind of invest on his behalf.
That's a different story. It's a different story.
Okay, sorry, maybe I'm thinking of the wrong one. But the thing with that with I find with the Bible is that because there are these parables and these things that are speaking, these things are supposed to be analogous to other things, that in the conversation I had with Richard Madsen not too long ago, I kind of brought this point up, because obviously, if anybody's listened to Richard Madsen, he has a very unconventional view.
I co-host with Richard every Thursday. We're on our second series. First one we went through David and Goliath. Second one we're going through Enoch. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's interesting because, but if anybody's listened to like Richard talk about this stuff, he has a very unconventional viewpoint of the Bible.
Sammy Jenkins,
And-
just interrupt, man, and I've said this twice already on 2 different streams that I'm on, but it's probably because my Richard's my chummy chum, but Sammy Jenkins went and actually looked up an Aboriginal story that Richard had no knowledge of, and their fucking story matched the same sort of stuff that he's coming up with. He spent 7 years researching everything, to try and tie everything together, and I have an awful lot of respect for Richard because he can back up his claims. And just to put that out there, big love for Richard.
No, Richard's a great guy. I really enjoyed my discussion with him. The couple of discussions that I've had with him, they've been great. But it does kind of reiterate this other point, which is that because of the like I said, the when you have this book of parables and when you have this book that's where you can point to all these kind of analogies out there, is that it becomes like a very, you're able to shape a lot of this into the message that you want.
Oh yes, if you leave it vague enough, then you can tie everything together. We try and go over that. Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. Big enough umbrella, you can tie everything together. It's the same with the Bible. The Bible is that vague that anybody that wants to prove any point can pick and choose what they want. That's what, one of the reasons I think the Bible was maybe written the way it was, because it covers all bases. It's like, if you agree with me, I can guarantee that you'll find at least 5 verses in this book that will agree with the point you're trying to put across. So it agrees with everybody, with at the same time, I don't know, it's getting very late. Maybe in 15 minutes we're going to have to close down because it's 10 to 6 in the morning. But I think you're trying to get the point I'm putting across. The fact that it's open enough, we can justify slavery, we can justify good points,
Yeah, I get the point, and maybe I'll just say one more thing, and we can, kind of get off scripture if you want. That's fine. But
we'll save that converse. We'll definitely converse. We'll have to get another conversation going where we can get more in depth about your beliefs and where we're going, and we can dedicate an episode to you. But go on ahead, what you're saying.
Sure, I was just going to point out one more thing, because I believe that a lot of times, again, I think that we've heard so many things that it's hard to understand, because here's the thing with Christians, they don't
2
just
minutes.
I'm sorry,
you've got 2 minutes.
Oh, okay, I was about to say, with Christians, you got to understand that they read the Bible every day, so there's tons of passages that like Saka was talking about, that passage, he thought it's a similar passage but it's not the same passage, and for example, there's a verse in the New Testament that says slave traders will be in hell alongside of, liars and thieves and so forth.
That's
so
the second time you've mentioned the Bible. Go again, and I may kick you because I've asked you twice, but I'm being nice.
All right, that was my last verse. And then
here, you know me, man. I'm as blunt. I'm just blunt. I'll call fucking atheists and agnostics out when they start pulling claims and fallacies and saying the same old shit that everybody's fucking sick of hearing.
Yeah.
You know yourself. I'll call everybody out just as bad.
That's fine. Yeah, I didn't bring up scripture. You know that.
Oh no! I know. You don't need to bring it. No, let's not go down that route. Do your wee thing. Oh, who did we lose?
Yeah.
We lost somebody. Bad connection. Anyway. Converse, finish what you're saying, and then we'll work our way around the room. We'll round it up because it is getting late. I need to get at least some sleep. And,
no, that's it, brother. That's all I wanted to say.
No, appreciate it, Converse. I apologize if it came across as rude, but when
Don't worry
shit starts
about that.
getting annoying and I hear the same stuff I've heard before, I'll call everybody out on both sides. So, Neil, if you want to give a shout out for your channel and what you've got coming up next to your next interview, I think is tomorrow.
It is tomorrow. I didn't have one on Monday. I was originally supposed to have to go see my doctor, but that ended up falling through because he was sick. So, and the backup guy is away. So I didn't see my doctor on Monday, but I should have had a show on Monday. I should have probably just did an impromptu one. Anyways, I'm Neil, the 604 Atheist, and I talk to people about their journeys away from religious beliefs or just beliefs in general. And
if you don't know Neil,
a lot of fun.
Yeah, if you don't know Neil, you're a fucking knobhead.
Well, I'm not going to go that far. I don't want to insult people.
I'll put out the fact that Neil is booked up to March. All right, Neil is booked out to March. Okay, people.
You should follow Neil because he introduces you to so many interesting people.
Yeah, the man's like a hub.
It's kind of true.
Plus,
I'm
his
everywhere.
fucking band kicks arse. What is your SoundCloud link?
My SoundCloud? Oh, it's just soundcloud.com/Neil hyphen Bernstein. I
Yep.
think it's hyphen.
Yep.
Anyway,
Post it
the
in
music.
the live chat. I'll check it later, man, if you can. And I'll add it to the description. Neil's band kicks fucking ass. Converse, you would very much like Neil's band. Going down the route where you're going, you would Neil
really?
kicks ass.
What is it? Is it metal or what?
Well, we've got some stuff. Our music varies, because we have so many different influences. We've got some heavier edge stuff. We've got some acoustic stuff. We did a tribute to the '80s kind of sound. We did.
You need to update your SoundCloud.
Yeah, it's we do. There's all kinds of cool shit in there.
Yeah, I play guitar, so I'd probably be interested in hearing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Purple, have you got anything coming up? And you want to do a quick chill and all the rest
I
of
forgot to
that?
say who my guest was tomorrow.
You did
It's
say.
Cordial Curiosity. Did I say that already?
No, I just jumped over
Who's
you. 'cause
that?
I talk
Cordial
over the top
Curiosity.
of you. Curious Curiosity. Go on ahead, Neil.
Okay.
No, Cordial Curiosity.
That's someone else I've never heard of.
No.
So I'll have to check that out.
Technology guy. Read Nice Wonder. Anyway.
Purple. Anything coming up? Anything happening?
Oh, well, I do live streams every Wednesday at noon Central Time and Thursday at midnight Central Time. Try and take in everybody in the world that way. So, and MathFig's going to have me on the 21st for an interview, so.
Sorry. I was looking up Neil's link for his interview and it'll be in the chat. And yeah, we're having Purple coming up very soon. Purple's coming up next week. Sokka, have you anything going on? You're always in the background, Sokka. You don't have much content in your own channel, but you have a shitload of subscribers, which proves of how good you are.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I don't know what I'm at, but for somebody that puts up no content, the fact that I have like several hundred subscribers is cool. It's the people that are just waiting for me to put something up, and it's probably gonna be a funny cat video or something. I don't know.
Yeah, post a cat.
Hey, Shannon Q didn't put out anything until she had 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's out of the respect for people and the way they put across their points and how very good they are at articulating their opinions. And you have that the same as what Shannon Q has, Sokka. You're very well versed. You come at a strong point and you can back your shit up. You articulate your points very well, and you deserve every subscription and every view that you have.
Well, I tempered my my chops here early, and I tempered my steel, I guess, in the old days of the what I call the gladiatorial, great debate stuff. You go into the hangouts and just a bunch of people, yelling and over talking each other. And, it was not the most pleasant stuff, and that's kind of gone away with Google Plus shutting down, Google Hangouts going down. Message board communities aren't as popular as they used to be. That you don't see that as much anymore, which is fine because it probably wasn't the most conducive to good conversations. When I see people now like Neil and yourself and Shannon Q and Richard and these people that just are out there having these like really nice cordial conversations with people with varying beliefs, it's like, you know what, this is how it should be done.
Yep.
And
I think so.
like it's a skill that I've tried to improve on in recent years, but one that I can humbly say is lacking in compared to a lot of the content creators that are out there now, which is why I really appreciate a lot of the stuff that you guys are doing.
Well, thanks, dude.
Thank you very much.
Do you have a story to share, Sokka? Because I've seen you around, and I've actually meant to ask you, and I can't even remember if I did or not.
I'm just I was never religious. Like that's the thing. It's like I was
okay.
I was born in I'm Canadian, and
me too.
Yeah, I think I'm just across the channel from you. I'm on the island right now.
Are you on Vancouver Island?
Yeah.
Oh shit! Yeah, we're almost neighbors.
Yeah, almost.
I can just imagine
but,
Neil's interview
Lilith
with
liberated
Sokka.
us from the island as well.
Yeah, Neil's
Yeah.
interview with Sokka. Can you tell me your deconversion story? Yeah, was born, moved in across the water. Okay, great episode.
Well,
Right.
it's funny because I was I was never a religious person, and growing up, it was one of those things that just played no role in my life whatsoever until like my 20s, when like was like the first time that it really kind of clicked in that the position that I hold is like a minority position, and it was just like it was dealing with that. It was kind of like, wait a second. It's like, the few times I went over to a friend's house and they said grace, and I just kind of like, oh, they're doing that stuff that I've seen in the movies every once in a while. Cool, whatever. And then it's just like, oh, wait a second. This is more common than I think.
Yeah.
I've had people on talk to me about religious influence in their life, like Rachel Oates. You could come on and talk about that if you want, Sokka.
Yeah, sure. My schedule is pretty open for the next couple months, so yeah,
Are you on
if you
Twitter
want,
at all, or
I
are you in
am. Yeah, I am on Black Bart's. Or I think it's at Bart Black.
Sokka,
or
you're
Art.
in Discord, man. I've seen you about. I'll send your link to Neil.
Okay, cool. You just
Oh, I found you. Okay. I'm already following you, and you're following me. So
Yes.
it's okay. All right.
I want to be Canadian. If I row my canoe across Lake Superior, can somebody give me sanctuary?
Absolutely go for it. That's still like 4,000 kilometers for me, but I'll do my best.
Sokka and I are way far away from you.
Right. Well, on that note, everybody, I want to say thank you very much for everybody who's turned up. I have to get to bed. It's now 6 o'clock in the morning for me. I have to start work at 8:30. So, yeah.
Yay,
everybody-
Matt thinks actually gonna sleep for once.
Yay!
Right.
So, everybody on screen, Sokka, this is the first time we've really talked, but ignoring you, the other people on the panel, a lot of love. A lot of respect for you, Sokka, an awful lot. And yeah, we definitely should talk more. There's a lot we could chit chat about and back and forth, and I appreciate it. I couldn't wish for higher praise for just trying to create somewhere that we can build bridges. And I think it was one way that said aim for an Irish pub with a pool table out the back where we can all sit and get drunk and play pool, and when you fuck the person off, they'll be back the next Friday to talk shit again with you.
Yeah.
And on that note, I'll say bye-bye, and thanks very much, everybody.